2014. That was the year that Ring came out with their first video doorbell and changed residential surveillance forever. Yeah, some people had cameras on their house before that, but most of the time, if you had cameras on your house before that, the police might be watching you thinking you're shady. But then that first video doorbell came out and changed everything. People started getting cameras left and right. Video doorbells started coming out left and right. And since that day, I've been looking for the perfect video doorbell, not only for myself as a security guy and a smart home enthusiast, but for our customers at SilverHammer, because we install video doorbells all the time for people all over the place. So I've been looking for that perfect video doorbell, model after model, looking feature after feature. I just haven't found it. So today I'm talking about a new video doorbell, the Imilab video doorbell. And is it going to be that perfect video doorbell? Let's find out. What up, everybody? It's George Langabeer with SilverHammer Surveillance. Here on the channel, we talk home security and we talk smart home tech. We have videos every Tuesday. We hope that you like and subscribe and all that good stuff. We very much appreciate your support. Today, we're talking about the video doorbell. Now, the channel's to the point where we're starting to get those emails rolling in, companies wanting us to test their stuff. Now, a lot of times it's very reputable companies, well-known companies, but sometimes it's companies you never heard of. Imilab I've heard of before, but when they offered me a video doorbell, I thought, all right, I'm in that endless quest. I want that perfect video doorbell, so I'm willing to pretty much try any video doorbell to see if it can finally tick all my boxes. So Imilab was nice enough to send this to me. This is not a sponsored video, so this will be my honest feedback. All right, so we're talking about this video doorbell right here. Now, this is on Kickstarter for $89. The retail's gonna be $139. Now, it's been on Kickstarter for a while, so the release is about to happen, but you can head to Kickstarter, and I'll put the link in the description so you can find it. But this is it. So you can kind of see the size, very well made, and then it also comes with this hub, which also serves as the chime, and so that just goes into an outlet, and then you've got your speaker, you got an indoor chime, and you've also got a chime on the doorbell as well. So that's the design in a nutshell. Let's talk about some specs. All right, so they're claiming 6 months of battery life. So that's pretty good battery life, pretty standard for a battery camera. This is a battery doorbell, by the way. 4 megapixel resolution, which equates to 2.5K, basically. 150 degree field of view, pretty nice field of view on this camera. IP66 weather rating, so pretty weatherproof, great weather rating. Free local storage up to 256 gigs or 30-day of cloud storage, which is free for 3 months, which is great. So you got both options, but with the free SD card recording, no monthly fee. 2-way HD video calls, so that's how you talk to the person at your door. 2.4 gigahertz only on as far as your Wi-Fi goes, so keep that in mind. Has AI plus PIR technology for human detection within 0.01 seconds of an alert. That's what they're saying. So you'll be alerted within 0.01 of a human at your door or on your porch. 60-second install, and I agree with that. It did take about 60 seconds. Very easy to install. Pretty easy to set up as well. And then this does have Google Assistant and Alexa capabilities. No HomeKit, unfortunately. So that's a box that I'm automatically unticking on that perfect video doorbell card. But what can you do? Again, this is $89 on Kickstarter right now, kind of an early bird advantage, $139 retail eventually. And then again, you have the doorbell itself, and then you have that hub. This is where the SD card goes, so you've got the storage inside. So that's, pretty handy as far as replacing the SD card. And then in addition to the doorbell and the mounting bracket, you do have a 15-degree wedge to get that angle a little bit better on your door, depending on the orientation of your door and your doorbell and your porch. Okay, moving on to the unboxing. Inside the box, you have the hub, you have the doorbell, you have the mounting plate, you have the wedge, you have some documentation, you have your little removal pin, and then the mounting hardware, which are some anchors and some screws. Pretty straightforward on the unboxing. As far as the setup goes, the setup was very easy. You plug in the hub, you put the doorbell into sync with the sync button, and then you go through the app and you follow the instructions. Now, I will say that I just had a few problems the first time around. I'm not sure what the deal was. I know on the 2.4 gigahertz doorbell, sometimes there are some problems. I've seen some other reviews on this doorbell where people got through it the first time, no problem. So I can't really hold that against them. It wasn't a big deal, but it just delayed me just a few minutes not a big deal. So the setup's very easy. You just go through the app, follow the instructions, which is typical for most video doorbells. Moving on to that installation, it truly was about 60 seconds. You just put that mounting plate up, decide if you want the wedge behind it or not. You slide it in there if you do, 2 screws, you slide the doorbell in, bam, that's it. You plug in your hub and it's over. So they're right, it's about 60 seconds. And I feel that it's not just because I'm a professional smart home guy, a professional security installer. It was really pretty easy. Once you go to the app, you get this little splash screen, which you can skip through. Then you get into it and you've got your actual image there. You can play, hit the play button. Since it's a battery doorbell, you're gonna have to hit that play button. So you've got your image, you've got your timestamp up there. And then on the image there, you've got the pause, you've got the audio on and off, and you can go landscape to portrait. And then when you switch back, you got a chat feature down there. And I could have named the doorbell anything you want. If you go into the settings, you've got the cloud storage there. Those are your different cloud options, which is great. Again, you can do the SD card or the cloud options. Then you got your playback modes. So you've got your different person events there. You can click on any of those and play them. Turn your audio on and off. You can download your instances there. And again, you can go portrait to landscape. And you can actually switch between all events up there, which I'll show you in a second, where you can go to all events, people events, and that kind of thing. And then you can edit your clips. You can delete anything you want. You can go one by one there. All right, going into the meat of the settings, you got your battery level. You got a power saving reminder there. There you can determine what you want the sound of the doorbell to be, and you can do that both out at the doorbell and on the inside hub. And so there you've got your options. You can also record your own recording if you want to, that it would play, which is pretty cool. You can control the volume. You got a do not disturb mode, lens distortion correction, so you can kind of mess with the lens. You've also got WDR, wide dynamic range, on and off, so that's great that you have that option. And it kind of tells you which one you might want to prefer depending on your situation. You can go into your night vision settings. You can switch it automatically. You can have it always on, always off, depending on your situation. We're kind of unique here since our doorbell's inside. All right, you go into home monitoring. You got 24-hour detection. You can do different times of the day. You can customize it, which is pretty cool. The detection mode, which record immediately, record after a certain amount of time. You can turn it off. You can determine your video clip length, which is great. So that also will help with the battery. These are pretty typical settings for a doorbell, but re-trigger interval, so you can control that there. Detection sensitivity, so you can control how sensitive the alerts are. Surveillance alarm, you can trigger an alarm if it does detect motion automatically. That's a pretty decent alarm. You can create zones, so that'll help you as far as your detection and eliminating the street and cars passing and that kind of thing. All right, then you've got your SD card video. You've got the signal test. You can do a signal test to make sure the videos or the doorbell is working properly. Memory card will determine the stats of your memory card. General settings, you can change the name of it. You can check for your firmware update. You can share the doorbell. Pretty straightforward settings. And then when you're actually in the actual doorbell itself, you can go ahead and trigger the call, the two-way call, which means you can talk to the person outside. You can trigger an alarm if you want to. You can switch between SD and that 4 megapixel resolution. You can turn the audio on and off. You can take a clip, you can take a video. You can switch from portrait to landscape. And then again with the two-way call. Now I found that that speaker was pretty good, and we'll show you here a little test of the audio.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
How clear is it?
Pretty clear. I mean, again, walkie-talkie style.
Do I sound delayed? Do I sound weird at all?
No?
Okay, cool. Bye.
Bye.
But those are the settings in a nutshell. Okay, so what were my overall thoughts on testing this bad boy? Let's start with notifications. Notifications were great. It was that 0.01. I got them on my Apple Watch and my phone pretty much immediately. You can go right to that notification and talk to the person and see what's going on. All right, so what if somebody actually presses the button? Now I found those notifications to be pretty quick, but when I pressed the notification, it was a little iffy if it took me to the two-way calling or if it just showed me the event. And I had a little trouble with that two-way calling coming up right away. So if you actually want to talk to somebody, I had a little problem with that, but when it did work, it worked great. So I'll do a little display here, a little demonstration. But yeah, when it worked pretty well. And it wasn't all the time that I had a problem, but there were a couple times that I had a problem. A little side note, and this is very specific to our situation here because we're in an apartment and we're looking out at other apartments inside. We've got the fluorescent lights, but you can see every demonstration I've shown you here, we've got that flickering effect. And that's because of those fluorescent lights, and it causes that. Now, a lot of video doorbells, including the Eufy Dual and the Google video doorbell, the Nest doorbell that we put out here, it didn't happen. So it was just beautiful footage. And so a lot of cameras will combat that with different features. This one does not. Now, normally you're gonna have your video doorbell outside unless you're in an apartment like this. So that's not gonna happen. Now I can't show you a true test because I didn't test this outside, but that did bother me. And it will prevent me from using this video doorbell permanently here, but we are a very unique case here because we're in an apartment. So just keep that in mind. That's one thing that bothered me. Speaker was pretty decent. You know, Teresa's standing right out there. We could hear it pretty well. She could hear me, I could hear her. Now you're not gonna have too much distance, so you're not gonna scream at somebody across the yard with this bad boy. But it worked pretty well for somebody standing right there. Now, again, when you're outside, you're gonna have to offset for outside noise. We don't have that here, so it'd be interesting to see that. So sorry, I can't test that here. But anyway, my one big complaint was that immediate notification when they press the button. I had a little trouble with that. Maybe it was just a one-use scenario, I don't know. But I have been testing this for about a week, and I kind of have that problem. So keep that in mind. As far as the resolution goes, that 4 megapixels just fine. Now I have the flickering effect, but if that wasn't there, this would be a great shot. 150-degree field of view looks good. Again, it was just the flickering for me that, And then as far as the settings go, you can really kind of fine tune everything. I found that the alerts were great. The fact that you can change when it's triggered and how long it records, I found that that did really well as far as somebody coming and going. It really did the alerts very well, better than some other video doorbells I've tested, so that was great. So good job there. You will be able to add this to Google Home and Alexa. No HomeKit, unfortunately, so it'll be nice to have that integration with smart displays. I did not test that, but nice to have that functionality. So overall, not a bad doorbell. Pretty impressed with the build quality. The actual mount on it's plastic, but that's pretty typical for any video doorbell. But the actual doorbell itself felt pretty hefty, pretty well made. It's pretty small up and down, but a little wide, so you gotta kind of be careful of what you're gonna replace. Now, being a battery video doorbell, you can pretty much put it anywhere you want. Very easy to have that hub anywhere in an outlet inside your house. So that's great. The resolution's great. Other than my flickering effect, which I've covered. Overall, a very good doorbell for the price. You can't complain about the price. What more can you ask for? So good job, Imilab, for that. Just a couple cons, and one of them is very specific to me, so I can't hold that against you. It's a great option for those of you on a budget. So for the most part, I give a thumbs up. Not the perfect video doorbell that I'm still on the quest for, but a very good video doorbell for the budget. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Do you have the perfect video doorbell? For me, it's the Eufy Dual, but I need that HomeKit integration, and then I think we'd be there. But let me know in the comments what you think. What's your favorite? I also like the Google Nest battery doorbell put into HomeKit with the Starling Home Hub. That's probably the closest I've got to perfection, because then I do have the HomeKit integration, but I still like a lot of the Eufy Dual settings more. But this one's great for the price. But again, let me know in the comments what you think. Smash the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel. We very much appreciate having you here. Videos every Tuesday. Follow us on Instagram. We got a lot of cool tech stuff on Instagram. You get a little more insight into my life, personal life, professional life. But yeah, check us out on Instagram. Till the next video, peace and love.